Downtown Connecticut, Nick Latigo.
Then in car number 24, a graduate from the Wild Thing Karts. He's from Hamden, Mass. In the Hamden Engineering and Ballyhike Farm sponsored machine, Mikey Flynn.
Then it's the Island Cove Manafort Brothers number 75 for Corey DiMatteo. 20 circuits, get ready off turn number 4. Jason Manfredo gives him the green, and car 31 for Noah Connor. Out in front, but they're already challenging. There's Jordan Lamothe moving to the front. Look at Christopher, 3 wide.
As he gets by Rogers, now he's trying to get by the rookie Noah Connor. There are cones flying all over the speedway. And it is Fuller in car number 15 moving up. As one car is dragging a cone,
that
is Joey
10.
Ternullo.
Yep. Caution flag comes out as the cones become the reason for the caution as they got tangled up.
Yeah, Joey Walnuts became Joey Snow Cone.
And it's still underneath the, just behind the right front tire on that number 10 car. Family Ford of Enfield. If you're in the market for a newer used vehicle, check out the inventory at Family Ford of Enfield. They're located not far from the Stafford Motor Speedway. Family Ford of Enfield. For the best deal on your newer used car, it's Family Ford of Enfield, provider of the official safety services trucks here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Now, Joey Ternullo has a hobby that you would not expect from a 17-year-old. He is a gardener. And he has a garden in the backyard. And I'm waiting for him to take care of me. But he grows tomatoes and cucumbers. So with Joey Ternullo, he has a green thumb. We're going to have some information from the infield in our Flamingo Motorsports report with Connor Sullivan.
Of course, with the cones bringing out the early caution, but one of the things that has played a major role has been all the dirt that's been on the track as a result of the monster truck shows that we had this weekend. It wreaked havoc in practice with these guys. They were sliding all over the place. By the second practice, they started to get a line out there, but it's still pretty slick with all the dirt that remains on the track following this past weekend.
Program seller right down front. Remember the free coupons and much, much more. Green flag is back out. Oh, all of a sudden
goes around, and everybody avoids him. So Noah Connor, the rookie driver, he is pointed in the wrong direction. And he is unable to move the car. Now he does, and we might stay under green.
It looks like we are going to, as they come back to the line. The 76 is out in front. Dana DiMatteo. Mike Christopher up to second. Here comes the 16 of Jordan Lamothe. And that 38 of Nick Latigo from 8th. He's up to 4th and coming to the front of the field.
Maybe a sense of urgency for Joey Ternullo as he tried to get around Christopher Fuller. Couldn't do it, and he lost his momentum. But the man with all the momentum on the track is Dana DiMatteo in car number 76. He is a 3-time champion in the Legends at the Waterford Speed Bowl, and right now he is leading by about a couple of Lego logs over Mike Christopher.
Keep your eyes on that 38 machine for Nick Latigo. Now challenging the 16 of Jordan Lamothe. Side-by-side racing for 3rd. White and black car up against the red and neon orange numeral car. Latigo is up to 3rd. Christopher trying to reel in on the back bumper of Dana DiMatteo. Started in 5th. Trouble now. 31 goes around. Noah Connor again. And that'll bring out the caution and tighten this all back up, Matt.
And Noah's having a problem tonight handling turn number 2 as that car twitches in the corner. And 5 laps have been completed. And Dana DiMatteo now is going to have to handle himself on a double file restart against Mike Christopher Jr. Another guy who is having a pretty solid run, car number 32, Kyle Rogers, as they think they are very close in getting to that car where it should be, but they have been trying to find the winning combination all season long, and it just come up a little short.
Let's see what's going to happen as we're about ready to go back to green flag racing. Car number 76, Dana DiMatteo on the inside, Mike Christopher, Latigo making up the second row with that 16 machine of Jordan Lamothe. Green is out, Matt, and look at Latigo. Trouble now. The 75 goes around for Corey DiMatteo down in turn number 1, and it doesn't look like it's going to fire back up, and now all of a sudden it does. So that is not what the driver of the 76, Dana DiMatteo, was hoping for.
No, he didn't want his brother to do that and bring out a yellow
Yep.
because Dana wants some rhythm, and you can't get it with a rash of yellow flags. Corey, he is a student at Farmington High, his older brother. He goes to Central Connecticut State University in car number 76. And, of course, their uncle, John Manafort, has been around. So we are ready to bunch up the field with DiMatteo and Mike Christopher Jr. in the front row. Mike Christopher has had some difficulty handling the outside groove here. Latiga might be able to get a jump on him in car number 38.
Let's see what's going to happen as they wind them back up. Green comes out. Look at Mike Christopher on the outside of DiMatteo. DiMatteo holds on. Latiga right in the middle of the mix in this one. As Latiga's got a car that seems to run well on the bottom, Mike Christopher and Latiga are side by side racing for second.
And Latiga is able to swoop underneath the 82 to move into second. A little bumping going on between Christopher and Jordan Lamoth, that red number 16 car. But right now, Christopher will have inside position, and let's see if he can use it to his advantage against Nick Latiga.
Well, Latiga now slips up the racetrack a tiny bit there, and Mike Christopher reels him back in. Off turn number 4, back to the stripe they come. DiMatteo is still the leader, and he's starting to string it out a bit, Matt, as the leader of the field. 8 laps of 20 are now complete.
With Latiga and Mike Christopher Jr. paying attention to each other, they can't pay much attention to Dana DiMatteo, and he opens up a pretty good lead. Joey Ternullo having a good run in car number 10. And then the rookie driver, Mikey Flynn. Not only did he compete last year in the Wild Thing karts, he was also a champion at Pomfret Speedway. And every Friday night, a lot of people from Pomfret come and give him some support. So he has a pretty good rooting section.
Half of the event is all but history, and no one has been able to challenge Dana DiMatteo out of Farmington, Connecticut, as the leader with car number 76. Meanwhile, look at what's happening a little further back in the field. The 32 is starting to come to life again for Kyle Rogers.
So Kyle Rogers not giving up. He works on the back bumper with the 24 car of Mikey Flynn, and he narrows the gap between the two cars. Corey DiMatteo is trying to make a comeback at car number 75, but nobody has an answer for Dana DiMatteo. As Double D is able to stampede his way into the corner, he goes high up the racetrack coming out of turn number 4. But when you're running by yourself, you have the luxury of being able to run the groove wherever you want it to be.
You sure do, and that's exactly what he's doing, running his own line, and it's working. Less than 6 laps remain in this event. Latiga's still running in second. Mike Christopher still in the 3rd spot. Then it's Jordan Lamoth up to the top 4, and the 10 of Joey Ternullo right there among the top 5 cars. 5 laps to go, Matt. Final 5.
Joey Ternullo started his racing career in the Bandoleros when he was 9 years old, and he is trying to answer back against Jordan Lamoth in car number 16. But right now, Lamoth having another solid run. Nobody is better right now than Dana DiMatteo. And let's see if Latiga has some late race fireworks as they sizzle their way into turn number 4. It is still Dana DiMatteo. He has all the aces up his sleeve.
He certainly does, and he has maintained a nice comfort zone between him and Latiga in the 2nd spot. About the same margin separates 2nd from 3rd in this one as well. Back to the line, twirling 2s. 2 circuits to go. Car number 76. Dana DiMatteo started 5th on the grid, and once into the lead, he never looked back.
Best battle between Jordan Lamoth and Joey Ternullo, as Ternullo has tightened up that, but he is running out of time. White flag is out, and this could be a coronation for Dana DiMatteo.
Looking good. He comes back to the line. Off turn number 4. The checkered flag is out, and Dana DiMatteo will take down the impressive victory. Nick Latiga will finish in 2nd. Mike Christopher for 3rd. Jordan Lamoth to round out the top 4. Joey Ternullo will finish 5th.
Mikey Flynn was 6th. Kyle Rogers in 7th. Corey DiMatteo was 8th. Noah Corner is 9th. And Christopher Fuller in car number 15 finishes 10th. So Dana DiMatteo becomes the first driver this season to win twice as he won the second race of the season, and now he wins tonight. So a very important win for Double D. In second, Nick Latiga. So he goes from a late model on Wednesday to a legend car on Friday and gets a podium finish. And Mike Christopher Jr., he remains hot with a third place run. So a pretty solid outing for our Legends competitors. So it'll be Dana DiMatteo, the college student from Farmington, as he gets ready to make his way out of the car. And when he does, he'll be talking at Napa Victory Lane to Connor Sullivan.
Dana DiMatteo, the first repeat winner of the season in the Legend cars, started up near the front, and you had to negotiate a pretty slippery track out there tonight.
Yeah, track was about 2/10 off from what it normally was. I think there was like mud in the pavement. David was telling us before the feature from the Monster Jam, but definitely raceable, and just had to cooperate with it.
Who would you like to thank for your victory here tonight?
I just got to thank my uncle, John Manafort, Island Cove Marina, FK Rod Ends, Sign Pro for the wraps and the numbering, Drop Zone TV, Greg Zippadelli, DCI, J&J Racing, Waddell Communications. Everyone just jumps on board on this car to get here every week.
All right, that's the story from our points leader, and again, for the second time this season, your winner in the Legends, Dana DiMatteo. As we'll bring in our second place runner, Nick Latiga. What a week for you. Late models up at the big track in Thompson, and then returning to your Legend car roots on the mini mile.
Yeah, I always like coming back to run the Legend cars. It's a lot of fun. I wish I could have had a couple more laps. I finally found a rhythm that would work. The track was real dirty. I had to find a line that would actually work, and I kind of did. It was a little too late, but there's always next week. Congrats to Dana. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Saki and Sun Construction, Sunny Supermarket, my dad, my grandparents, my mom, my brother, Chris Merchant, everyone that helps out on this car and the late model. I really appreciate it.
All right, that's the story from our second place runner this evening, Nick Latiga, as we'll bring in our third place runner, Mike Christopher Jr. You had a bit of a difficult start on the night, but you managed to get back on track and onto the podium.
Yeah, we didn't have the car that we had last week, a little bit too loose off, but I got to thank my dad for all he does with both cars at Waterford and now here at Stafford. We're going to go to Bethel tomorrow, so hopefully we do good there. I got to thank Joe Olibo from American Scales as our main sponsor here, and Mike from Organic Tick Control, and the Poolins, they sponsor us too, so thanks to everyone.
All right, that's the story for the Legend cars here on the mini mile. We'll send it back up to the tower. SK Lights coming up next.
A rookie driver will be starting fourth in car number 51 from Palmer in the Rad Auto Machine car, Josh Wood.
Life Care Family Chiropractic Onyx Spirits brings us car number 41 for the talent from Stafford Springs, J.J. Hill.
Next door will be car number 1 from Stafford in the Shark Cycle and Casa Grande Builders car, Corey Casagrande.
Safeco Foam brings us the 92 from East Long Meadow, the Stu Fern owned race car for Tommy Fern.
He was a heat race winner earlier tonight in car number 32. Raftery Fine Grading is a sponsor for Kevin Gambacorda.
9-starter in the field from Munson, Mass, Flamingo Motorsports. Car number 17, it is Big Jim Peterson.
The defending champion will be next in car number 97 from Belchertown. In the Meadows Motor Car and Leon's Auto Repair Machine, here is Adam Gray.
And then it'll be car number 28 for Dennis Botticello, who'll be starting back in the 11th spot, the Bacuna racing car.
The Professor will be next in car number 42. Jay Stewart in the Arbitel Convenience Stores car.
13th starting position, Extramart Convenience Store, Magnus Steel, number 01 from Bethany, Connecticut. It is Jim Mavlajanis.
Car number 4, driven by the Turbo, Tom Butler.
Then it's the Ralph Solom Racing, number 04 for Skip Brunig out of Milford, Connecticut.
Car number 31, driven by Rush Hour Rick Lanigan.
Car number 39 is up next. We're green and racing as we rumble into turn number 2. And Michael Bennett, the Magnum, but caution flag comes out. No start comes out.
So we need Stacy Brights to come to the office. Stacy Brights, could you please report to the office?
Let's go back quickly to the final 5 cars in the starting lineup. Rich Hammond in the number 23 car. Peter Thickett, the 33. Scott Cook, the big whistle, in the 99. Justin O'Neill in the 08. And George Nasura was scheduled to start scratch but had a mechanical problem before qualifying today.
George's 4th race, and he has had no luck. So Rick Lanigan's car never took off, and to tell us why, let's go to Tony Sutton.
They're underneath looking for spark right now. They think they've got a failed distributor on the car, but they cannot locate it. I'll tell you what, the two guys to keep an eye on, the 97 to 42, Gray and Jay Stewart, they both have committed to drive hard in this race because they both want to win this extended length race. Back to you.
Let's see what's going to happen as they rumble off turn number 4. Casagrande on the inside of Michael Bennett. Picture perfect start this time. Bennett, the Magnum, looks racy on the outside as he inch by inch moves into the lead, but Casagrande isn't about to give up now. Here comes Josh Wood. Scorzelli is there also as a factor.
As he surges, going sideways, so like a windshield wiper, Mike Scorzelli is able to keep things under control. Bennett leading, and all over him like a candle on a birthday cake, the birthday boy himself, Kyle Casagrande.
Casagrande and Bennett come together for a second. That kind of upsets and creates a ripple. But it's Michael Bennett, the Magnum, at the front of the field. Meanwhile, here comes Scorzelli and J.J. Hill. Bennett brings him back. Lap number 2 goes into the record books.
J.J. Hill with room on the outside against Mike Scorzelli on the sides.
Trouble.
Now he makes an inside move.
3 wide. And J.J. Hill moves into the 3rd spot. Here comes Tommy Fern. Jimmy Peterson is the tail that wags the dog there. Gray is also coming to the front, and Stewart is being oh so sly, running at the bottom of the top 10.
I think he invented the word sly. That was a pretty good deke by J.J. Hill. One to the outside and then went inside to make a 3-wide move that worked. Look at Jim Peterson as he tries to claw his way to the inside of the Mike Scorzelli car.
Fern is up to the top 4. Peterson is now in the 5th spot. Scorzelli drifts back to the 6th position. Meanwhile, behind him, Gray looking racy underneath Gambacorta. Josh Wood's car is evil, Matt.
And that is car number 51. It almost went sideways on him in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He is able to keep it together. And right behind him is Jim Mavlijanis looking for elbow room underneath the 51.
Stewart is there. He doesn't want to be near these guys at all, but he is cautiously waiting for the curtain call to step on the gas. Meanwhile, 5 laps into the record books, Michael Bennett looking like days of old at the front of the field. As Casagrande running still in 2nd, Hill still in 3rd, Fern in the 4th spot, and rounding out the top 5 is Jim Peterson.
These are the type of runs that Michael Bennett used to have in the late model, getting a little sideways in the corner, so a little tilted for the 16, but he's able to keep the top spot against Kyle Casagrande.
His neighbor and buddy, Woody Pitcat, took this car out in practice. They've had all types of problems with it so far this season. Look a little further back in the field. Here comes Gray. Car number 97, defending champion. Just moves down underneath Scorzelli, and that is now in the 6th spot.
Well, what do the drivers in the top 3 have in common? They are all Stafford residents. Michael Bennett, Kyle Casagrande, and J.J. Hill, the first non-Stafford driver. That's Adam Gray or Tommy Fern in the number 92 car. Things are heating up a little in the back as it's Gambacorta trying to hold his own, but he is getting a visit from the 1 car of Corey Casagrande.
Jay Stewart is trying to shake off Tommy Butler earlier in Gossip Central in the paddock area. Joe Ham discovered that this is the year of the old guys in the late models, and now Stewart representing that class well with Butler and Mavlijanis. They're all marching forward.
Jay Stewart is pretty far back at this stage of the race, but nothing to worry about This is how Jay Stewart operates. Very quiet in the beginning, very rowdy at the end. Tommy Fern almost made a move underneath. The man who did complete a pass was Corey Casagrande, as he was able to fireball his way underneath Sorzelli, and Josh Wood is out of the race.
Justin O'Neill just went down a lap, and now Casagrande is reeling back in on Michael Bennett. Bennett, 11 laps in, strong at the point. Meanwhile, look at Jimmy Peterson. He's closing up the gap on Tommy Fern, and the same can be said about Gray. And then you go all the way back to 10th. That's where Jay Stewart is currently, but we are 12 laps into this event. 60 laps in extra distance cash presented by Extramark.
But not only is Stewart back in 10th, he almost needs Superman's X-ray vision to find out where Michael Bennett is. Almost an entire straightaway in front of him. So Michael Bennett pretty calm. Now Wood is back out on the track. He made a move, so maybe they got that car back to the way it used to be, as he made a pretty substantial move against Hammond in car number 23.
You know, we should point out that the fastest lap turn in this event was J.J. Hill, 21.445, and that came in just 4 laps ago. So Hill is a very quick race car. Bennett's got traffic up ahead. The Magnum still setting the pace. Casagrande is right there on his back bumper, and so is in Hill, Tommy Fern, Jimmy Peterson, and Gray.
Well, the lead is starting to shrink, so we'll see what Casagrande can do as they lightning bolt their way into the third corner. Casagrande, he is close enough to tap dance on the back bumper of the Bennett car. J.J. Hill, you almost get the indication the race really hasn't started yet for him. He has pretty good track position, and he is able to keep the nostrils of his car in front of Tommy Fern.
16 of 60 now are gone. We'll set the field again for you. Michael Bennett has been the dominant car in the first 16. Casagrande still running in second. Little smoke coming off the Tommy Fern car on the right rear. We're not sure if perhaps a body panel might be rubbing there, Matt. See the heavy smoke off turn 2.
Yeah, let's see what Peterson does behind him as he tries to make a move underneath the 92. Can't quite get there to jackknife his way underneath Tommy Fern. And the steady number 97 of Adam Gray, he is rounding out our top 6. Peterson almost made a move that time.
Peterson makes his presence known, and with him, like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, a little cat and mouse, and Peterson is the mouse and the big cat is Gray.
Something definitely wrong with Tommy Fern's car as he receives the black flag. He is going to have to go on the safety road, and the smoke gets thicker and thicker.
The body panel seems to be rubbing inside of the tire on the right rear of the number 92. A heartbreaker for Tom Fern. 20 laps are into the record books. Michael Bennett running like days of old, the best he's run this season. It looks like they finally got the bugs out of car number 16 tonight, as Bennett is looking racy. Look at the smoke now from beneath the Fern car down on pit road. Not a mosquito in the house there.
Yeah, and Fern goes to a stop, so this is a plot twist that we didn't expect. Tommy Fern out of the action on lap number 21. The script has remained the same. Michael Bennett in a perfect rhythm at the front of the field. Kyle Casagrande in second. So both Bennett and Casagrande are having their best runs of the season.
They certainly are, and they continue to hit their marks each and every time by. Let's go down to Tony Sutton where the action is.
Well, the 92 either lost the main inner seal on the rear end because it's differential grease all over the tires, and it almost ignited. It was that hot, but he was smart enough to get it off the racetrack before we had a real incident on our hand. But this was going on for the last 4 laps, according to his crew chief. Back to you.
23 circuits complete in the 60-lap event. Michael Bennett went from being the big dog in the limiteds here at Stafford, moved up to the late models, had a lot of success, tried the SK Modifieds, back in the late models in a family-owned race car. They have worked hard each and every week to try to get this car dialed in. And now for 24 circuits, it's been good.
And he is leading Casagrande by about the length of a popsicle stick. Things are heating up for 4th and 5th. Peterson looks, he is about to be entertained by Adam Gray. Gray, he usually finds room on the inside when he needs it, but Jim Peterson is pretty crafty. He is able to protect the bottom groove.
Casagrande sees a little daylight down underneath Michael Bennett. Down the back straightaway. While that's been happening, Gray moves into the top 4. Casagrande to the inside. Gray up the hill. What a nice save by Adam Gray. Unbelievable. And Jimmy Peterson was able to hold on. Back to the front, Matt.
And here is Casagrande. He has an alley, a little boulevard underneath Michael Bennett as they blast their way in the middle of the corner. Sideways, Michael Bennett. Can he hang on? Here comes Casagrande, and on lap number 27, Kyle Casagrande has the lead.
Fastest car still on the racetrack by timing and scoring is J.J. Hill. Hill goes to the inside of Bennett as Casagrande takes over the number 1 spot. Here comes Hill. Moves his way to the inside. Bennett says, and he moves back into 2nd. Peterson closing up the gap in the 4th spot over Gambacorta. Peter Thickett down on pit road, car number 33.
Well, Jim Peterson did a great job a couple of laps ago of avoiding major contact when Gray had trouble getting loose in the corner. J.J. Hill is stapled to the back bumper of the Michael Bennett car. Who would have thought that as we approach the halfway point of the race that Kyle Casagrande, the all-time winner in the Dare Stock division, but he has never won in a late model, would have the lead. He is about 2 turns away from being our halfway leader.
Kyle has also had a terrible 2014 season. This would be a nice confidence boost if he is able to hold on. Meanwhile, Gambacorta cannot shake off Jimmy Peterson, but still maintains that spot, and that is currently the 4th spot. Here comes Adam Gray again, Matt. He's trying to get around Peterson. Halfway down and halfway to go.
So Gray has made a nice recovery, and he is back with Peterson. A very smooth move a moment ago by Gambacorta, but the best battle on the track is for 2nd and 3rd as Bennett has a spot. J.J. Hill says the great thing about these long races, you can make the moves when you want to make them, not when you have to. Here comes Adam Gray. He makes that move underneath Peterson.
Adam Gray is back in his rhythm as he picks up the spot on Peterson. Gray is back up to the top 5. 32 laps in, 2 leaders. Kyle Casagrande took the lead from Michael Bennett. J.J. Hill is still 3rd. Gambacorta is 4th, and Adam Gray rounds out the top 5. Jimmy Peterson is 6th. Stewart quietly coming into the top 10. He is in the 8th spot. Now look at J.J. Hill down underneath Michael Bennett. 2 Stafford boys side by side and wheel to wheel.
As J.J. Hill tries to rumba his way underneath Bennett, and he does. So J.J. Hill, who has confidence in these long-distance races, has moved into the runner-up spot. Michael Bennett has to be careful because here comes Gambacorta.
Gambacorta also has a quick race car. As now Gambacorta, we've got a yellow. 2 cars around in turn 2 underneath the Napa sign. And it is the 04 of Skip Brunig. And it looks like the 39 of Paul Verrecchio. That's the little break in the action that some wanted to see and others did not want to see, Matt.
Well,
but I think Jay Stewart was waiting for this one.
Yeah, Jay Stewart was in 8th place before that caution came out. A very un-Stewart-like race so far. Even though it is a long race, J.J. Hill very patiently has moved into 2nd. Gambacorta looks like he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So a very interesting race so far. And 2 guys who have saved a lot of their cars and might have enough for the last 26 laps. They'll be starting in the 4th row, Corey Casagrande and the professor, Jay Stewart.
You know, to recap the event, what we've seen in 34 circuits, Kyle Casagrande led for about half a lap, and then Michael Bennett took over the lead, led right up until the midway point of the first 34 laps. Then all of a sudden, Kyle Casagrande took the lead back. Bennett dropped back to second, and J.J. Hill was the fastest car on the racetrack through timing and scoring, and it moved to the outside to take over the second spot. Down on pit road, it looks like Jimmy Peterson is pulling down on pit road. Let's go down to Tony Sutton.
Well, Jim Peterson is coming in. The car is really tightening up, and the crew is going to try and loosen it up. And he is reporting, that the 41 is losing a lot of fluid, and by the looks of the windshield on the 17 car, that's a real possibility. Anyway, they're going to the front suspension, trying to work on the car, trying to loosen it up just a little bit. He says he can't keep it down on the racetrack. It keeps wanting to drift up toward the wall. So this is definitely going to set Jim Peterson back. But we still have quite a few laps to go in this 40-lap event, and it's obvious that if the 17 is the way Jim Peterson wants it, he can get back to the front.
But the big question, Ben, is anything wrong with that number 41 car, J.J. Hill? That is our big conversation point now.
You know, we're looking at timing and scoring, and Jimmy Peterson was running behind Adam Gray, the number 97 car there. So we're not sure, even though they said it was the 41, it would be hard to believe that that would be the case, because Michael Bennett has been running behind the 41 car. It might be the Adam Gray machine that is the car. And look at Stewart. So quiet.
Let them know.
So cautiously running for the points in the Arbitel convenience store sponsored race car. And car number 4 goes behind the wall for Butler. His bad luck continues.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2. His second time out and his second DNF. So Jay Stewart, the beneficiary of this caution flag, he has moved into 7th place after Peterson has dropped out. And it'll be a double file restart between Casagrande and J.J. Hill. And this is going to be very interesting. 2 former basketball players at Stafford High. Let's see who will go to the hoop.
Off the turn. Time to make the jump shot down in turn 1. And Casagrande is still there. Hill goes from the outside to the inside. Here comes Gray. Bottom shot move down underneath Bennett. Gray moves into the 3rd spot. Gamba Corda. Bennett's got to get it down. If he's going to hold on, he's got to get to the bottom, and they almost touch.
And Stewart is able to get underneath him and climb into the top 5. So if Adam Gray is leaking anything, Ben, I think it must be rocket fuel, because he made a great move. Jay Stewart, as we expected, second half of the race, he has come on strongly.
Jay Stewart is no fool. He's been around this sport a long time. A sly old dog is moved into the 4th spot, and now Gray starts to work over J.J. Hill. This will give Stewart the opportunity to close up the gap. Meanwhile, Michael Bennett's car is starting to go away just a bit. Jim Mavlajanis is coming back to the front, and now J.J. Hill was sideways off turn number 4.
And Gray trying to take advantage of that as they scoot off of turn number 2. It is Gray with room. He has an alley on the bottom. Let's see if he can take advantage of it.
Into turn number 3. All of a sudden, Adam Gray up to 2nd, defending series champion, a man with a mission here tonight. As now Stewart closes up the gap on J.J. Hill. Stewart has put that Arbitel convenience store car on the podium almost each and every week here, Matt.
And he's 1 spot away from doing that. Of course, he wants something better, a victory. We'll see how much car he has left over the final 20 laps. The surprise of the race continues to be Kyle Casagrande. What a birthday present this would be for the Stafford driver as he tomahawks his way into the 4th corner. He has a pretty cozy lead over Adam Gray. Adam Gray is another driver. He knows how to finish races, so it's obvious that Adam Gray has saved something for the stretch run, as has Stewart.
20 circuits remaining. The clock is ticking. The birthday boy looking to celebrate with a party in Victory Lane. Further back in the field, Peterson goes down underneath Bennett. As now they look like they're bump drafting at Daytona, as Adam Gray is glued to the back bumper of Casagrande. Casagrande is smart. He tries to guard the inside, making Gray go for it in the outside lane.
Adam Gray knows he still has a lot of laps remaining, so there is no reason to press a panic button. J.J. Hill hanging out in third, then it's Stewart, Gambacorta in fifth, and rounding out the top fleet of cars is Corey Casagrande, then Jim Avojanis in seventh, followed by a resurgent Jim Peterson battle for the lead. Here comes Adam Gray.
Adam Gray, once he got there, he made it look so easy. J.J. Hill saw daylight on the bottom. He moves to the inside, and the candles are starting to, well, go out for the birthday boy.
Yeah, he is on the verge of going all the way back into sixth place, and he does.
Meanwhile, Stewart is on the podium. Gambacorta's car just done an evil move. It just went into the turn, and the back end came right around like a tire or something was going on. Yeah, it went in real deep and then just snapped right around.
Yeah, it looked like Linda Blair's head in The Exorcist, as that car, it got possessed as the devil got inside that number 32 car.
Shane, he had a good run.
He was able to keep it off the wall, however.
He had a great run going there as well. He passed a lot of cars and was contending with the front pack of cars. Family Ford of Enfield checks out the racing surface underneath the Napa Welcomes Race Fan signs in turns 3 and 4. If you're enjoying tonight, you have to be here next Friday night for the excitement of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour for the Call Before You Dig 811 Challenge with the Modified Tour and the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series. Josh Wood is down on pit road. Michael Bennett's car that ran so strong for the first 30 laps also became evil. And Gambacorta's coming in. Skip Brunig is in. Tony Sutton is down where the action is, and he's really getting a workout tonight as he's checking on things at both ends of pit road. The Bennett car, they have the hood off. The Chase Bennett-owned race car. And they have the Joshua Wood machine, the back end up, checking something in the rear suspension and rear stagger of that car. Matt, let's set the field for him.
So let's send it down for a Flamingo Motorsports report to the Flamingo Motorsports Mule and Tony Sutton.
Absolutely correct on the 32. Adjustment on the left rear. The 16, the hood is still off. They're underneath the hood. Let's see if I can get an idea as to what's going on. They're making some adjustments on the front suspension. The crew's coming back. They're putting the hood back on, putting the pins in. But Michael Bennett, very frustrated, sitting here on the line, waiting to get back out on the racetrack as the pins are in, and he is sent off.
AJ, the crew chief, sends Michael Bennett back out. Let's quickly set the field, Matt.
Okay, Adam Gray is your leader with 18 to go. J.J. Hill second, Kyle Casagrande third, Jay Stewart fourth, Corey Casagrande fifth, Jim Avojanis sixth, Jim Peterson seventh, and then it is Paul Verrecchio in eighth.
Let's see what's going to happen. We're about ready to get him fired back up. Tim Bennett on the starter stand gives him the green. And Gray gets a nice start. Casagrande does not get up to speed.
And that gives an advantage to Jay Stewart.
Scorzelli's car goes down through the grass and comes right out on the racetrack. Car number 23 is around in turn 1.
So let's see if he can move it. He is starting to move it.
And he does.
We stay under green. Staying in the lead is Adam Gray, but here comes Stewart with a determined move to get underneath J.J. Hill. And he pulls it off. Jay Stewart is in second.
Meanwhile, look at the challenge there. Hill just doesn't give up on the outside. Here comes Corey Casagrande, making his presence known, coming to the front, and Jim Peterson is not going to be left out of this one. Down on pit road, Jim Avojanis, heartbreaker for the Extra Mart convenience store car.
Well, that car was tight a few laps ago for Jim Peterson, but they made the adjustments. It is not tight right now as he gives J.J. Hill a lot to think about. We have a fight for second place. Corey Casagrande almost made a move on Jay Stewart. Now let's see if Stewart uses that lap car as an ally, and he does. Stewart is able to increase his grip on second place.
Certainly is. J.J. Hill trying to shake off Jimmy Peterson, as Peterson is now up to the 5th spot. We haven't mentioned the big kahuna, Dennis Botticello, turning in a good run tonight, up to the top 6. Gambacorta. Oh, Botticello's car's in a 4-wheel drift match.
Well, we mentioned him, and he is having a headache right now as he loses a spot to Gambacorta, and the yellow
Cook
comes
goes
out.
around, and Skip Brunig is involved. So we're back under yellow. 48 laps. The Cook brothers car and Skip Brunig's car are the 2 cars that bring out the caution. Let's go back down to Tony Sutton.
Well, Jim Mavrogiannis is behind the wall. He said he either lost the spark plug wire or there's some damage to the distributor because he started to lose power. And rather than blow it up, he decided to park it behind the wall.
That was the Flamingo Motorsports report from out of the infield area with Tony Sutton. Well, it's going to be interesting on this restart, Matt.
Well, look at the double file restart. Adam Gray and Jay Stewart. Adam Gray dominated this division last year.
And
Jay Stewart dominating it this year. So you can't ask for a better script for the final 12 laps.
You know, they were talking about it in the paddock area earlier today, how the senior drivers, the old guys, we'll call it, they are factors. And Jay Stewart is one of those senior drivers. Jim Peterson's, Botticello as well. Let's go down for another Flamingo Motorsports report.
Well, Bennett's back into 16. 2.5 rounds on the left side, 1.5 rounds on the right side, the rear suspension, trying to make that car handle for these remaining laps.
Well, Ben, it was amazing the race that Jay Stewart has run tonight. You know what? Lap number 30, he was in 10th place, and everybody wondered what was wrong with Jay Stewart. But I think if there's one word to describe Jay Stewart, you hit on it: sly.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew it was a long race, and he knew a lot of cars would have trouble making the tires last for the full 60 laps. So Jay Stewart, very conservative in the first half of the race, and because of that conservative game plan, he can go all out on this double file restart against Adam Gray. This restart could decide the race.
It certainly could. Remember, this is an extra mark, extra distance, extra cash on the line. 60 laps, the story. Off turn number 4, defending champion and maybe the champion to be.
Great restart. Adam Gray getting the jump on Stewart. Look at Corey Casagrande. He is able to helter-skelter his way underneath the 42 to move into second. Trapped on the outside, Jay Stewart. He might fall out of the podium because J.J. Hill is turning up the volume.
He certainly is, and right there is Jimmy Peterson. All of a sudden, Stewart's car got evil on that last caution. It isn't half as strong as it was. Now Stewart's car slips up the hill. J.J. Hill up to 3. Peterson for 4. And now Gambacorta, who's come back to life, is moved into the top 5.
Right behind him is Botticello. But at the front with 10 to go, Adam Gray opening up a little safety valve between himself and Corey Casagrande. Corey Casagrande is another one of those guys who has had no luck at all this year. Jay Stewart continues to slide backwards. Now he's on the verge of being passed out by Kyle Casagrande.
Stewart's cars definitely has gone awry since the last caution. It slips further back in the field. Now remember, Stewart must finish in order to maintain his quest in the points for 2014. But now he's shifting into the danger zone, Matt, as the leader still remains the defending champion, Adam Gray. 9 circuits to go, and Stewart's car is dancing without a partner.
He continues to backpedal. Adam Gray, it could be a very profitable night for him as he started the night 38 points behind Stewart in the standings. That is 19 positions on the racetrack. Kyle Casagrande showing a finishing kick as he gives Botticello a little to think about. But the lead continues to grow for Adam Gray, and time is running out for Corey Casagrande.
Certainly is. 53 now up on the board. Kyle Casagrande all over Botticello now. Bonsai move to the bottom. And now car number 7 working its way to the inside of Botticello. They almost touch, Matt, as they cross the line dead even.
And there is Kyle able to dart his way underneath Botticello.
Oh, trouble! J.J. Hill goes spinning, a scramble. They go high, they go low, and they all make it by.
And there is J.J. Hill stranded on the backstretch, bringing out another yellow with 6 laps to go.
Maybe that was the fluid that they were talking about earlier. Remember with the J.J. Hill car, they said perhaps there was some type of a problem. We didn't see it in performance, but then all of a sudden we saw the spin.
And maybe it took a few green flag laps to get that condition to surface. So right now on the sideline is J.J. Hill in car number 41. Adam Gray was home free, but now he has to worry about a double file restart from Corey Casagrande. And Ben, I think the Casagrande brothers have had a great night. As Corey Casagrande, maybe the poster boy for bad luck all season long, has saved something for the end. He is a contender. It has been really a miserable season for Corey after a great start. He had back-to-back third-place finishes, but he has struggled since then. Now we go to Tony Sutton for a Flamingo Motorsports report.
Well, I'll tell you what. The guy that I'm looking at is the 17 car. Jim Peterson, all the way back, had to do a bunch of work on the car to get it to handle, and he got back out there, and now he's running in 3rd place. And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to have a real shootout at the end here. These few laps to the left, because Peterson's going to be lining up on the inside, 2nd row. Get down to Kelly.
Okay, I'm here with the crew chief for 41, J.J. Hill. He told me the trainee seized up. He can't get it out of gear. This is not good. Back to you, Ben and Matt.
Tough break for J.J. Hill, a good kid that's very talented. Family operation. They race on a budget, so a heartbreaker for him
Feast
as
or
well.
famine type of season
Yes.
for him.
Kind of interesting here, Matt. With only 6 laps to go, we know that Jay Stewart's car was now evil. It started backing up, and it continued to backpedal, as the saying goes. But with 6 laps to go, Stewart did not come in to make an adjustment. And that's kind of a surprise. However, remember, Stewart is running for points. Every position represents X number of points, so it might be a smart move, not the wrong move, and it might even have been a cautious move.
Yeah, he is currently 9th. Remember, he had a pretty good lead coming in at 38 points. So he would lose a good chunk of that, but he would still be our point leader if he could keep that car pretty much where it is right now in the top 10. So this is going to be a pretty spirited double file restart between Adam Gray and Corey Casagrande. And Adam Gray has been masterful on the restart so far tonight. What about Jim Peterson? He did make the gamble.
Yep.
Came in. He was, 5th place when he came in?
Yep.
So it wasn't like he was having a completely bad night, but they needed to loosen the car up, and it worked wonders.
And so didn't the same story apply to Kevin Gambacorta. We saw him on pit road. Tony told us they took a round of wedge out, and he's back up there. Green is back out. If you think it's over with, you are wrong. Because Adam Gray is back in command of the lead. But look out. Look at Stewart now, working over Michael Bennett. And the big kahuna is there in 3 wide action. Stewart leans on Bennett. He backs out of it. And Botticello.
New leader, Corey Casagrande, as he went to the inside, was able to get the lead. Here comes Adam Gray trying to get it back. Gray, they are dead even. Body pierced together. Jim Peterson making it a 3-way fight for the lead.
It is Gray back in command. Casagrande just doesn't want to be left out of this one. They swing and they sway off turn number 4. Jim Peterson is in command. Jim Peterson goes from the back to the front. He's a man with a mission. Peterson in command of the event now. Going, gone. Like Casper at the front of the field, the white car is leaving everybody in the shadows here.
But Adam Gray still has a shot. Jim Peterson, he had one foot in the grave, the other foot in the morgue. But right now, he is in the lead. 3 laps to go. Adam Gray, the best man who has a shot of dealing with that. They go into turn number 3. Peterson continues to dictate the pace.
No question, the clock is ticking. Time is running out. 2 laps are given now to the leader. Adam Gray is all over the back bumper of Jim Peterson. 1 mile left, bottom of turn 1. Peterson hits his marks. Gray is right there, nipping at his heels down the back straightaway. Peterson comes off the turn like a rocket with forward bite.
Well, he was like a tornado coming off of turn number 2. Gray trying to play catch up. White flag will be out. This is one more time around for Jim Peterson. What does Adam Gray have in reserve? They go into turn 2. Gray taking a shot. Peterson says no.
Peterson pulls away again. Final 2 turns. Bottom of turn number 3. Jim Peterson. Gray reels him back in. Jimmy Peterson has come from the back of the pack and pit road. Jim Peterson has done it. He'll take down the victory. Adam Gray to finish in second. Great run to finish in the 3rd spot. What a comeback for Kyle Casagrande, the birthday boy, and Kevin Gambacorta will finish in 4th. Stewart knows what he's doing. A top 5. Corey Casagrande thrilled us all, but ends up in 6th. Michael Bennett, the early leader, was 7th. Dennis Botticello was 8th. Paul Verrecchio was 9th, and Skip Brunig was 10th.
Then it was Michael Scorzelli, 11th. Justin O'Neill, 12th. Scott Cook, 13th. Rich Hammond, 14th. Josh Wood, 15th. Peter Thickett, 16th. J.J. Hill has to settle for a 17th place run. Jim Avlogianis, 18th. Turbo Tom Butler, 19th. Rick Lanigan, 20th. Tom Ferg, 21st. So it'll be a 32-point lead unofficially for Jay Stewart heading into next week's action. So looked like Jay Stewart was going to fare a lot worse, but he was able to salvage a pretty good night. Jim Peterson, we have seen him win a lot of races, a 3-time champion. I think this was the most exciting win of his career because it looked like the buzzards were going to be flying over his car halfway through the race. They made the right adjustment. We said many times he doesn't like to drive a tight car. He likes it on the loose side. Well, he lived up to that tonight. What an impressive performance by Jim Peterson.
And the story of the night in the late models? Old guys rule, because Jim Peterson was the guy that was talking about age and what he can still be able to get the job done.
Boy, he might be old, but that right foot is young. As he gets ready to climb out of the car, he'll be getting ready to talk to Napa Victory Lane reporter Tony Sutton.
Well, Jim, that was an exciting race, I'll tell you that. It looked like you were in serious trouble when you had to come down pit road for some adjustments, but it didn't phase you in the least bit.
Nah, we still had enough time. Just got to keep digging and and we got a couple holes and worked out for us.
It surely did, but the thing we were talking about earlier today about mature drivers that have been doing this for a while, it really, all of the things that you've learned over the years, Kenny, just came to the surface and you were able to utilize all the skills that you've learned to get in front of some really, really talented and fast drivers.
Yeah, you just got to try to be smooth, save some car for the end, and hope you get an opportunity, and we did.
Absolutely outstanding, and I know there's a lot of people that helped you get to this point, and you probably want to take a moment to mention them.
Yeah, we got Flamingo, Hams Welding, Sean Waddell with Waddell Communications, Scannell and Hollinger, CNS Engineering, Shop Peterson Realty, Rad Auto Machine had big horsepower, Hitchcock Pool Water, Pop Moody's Tree Service, Wayne's Truck Service, everybody, Independent Wheel, my brother and my crew chief Dave Hirsch, the whole crew, they worked their butts off on this car.
And you drove yours off on it. Congratulations on the win. A great drive.
Thank you, Tony.
Well, Adam Gray, you drove that car as hard as you could drive that car. I couldn't see your face because of the full covered helmet, but I could just tell you were gritting your teeth and hanging onto the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, we were trying real hard tonight. Unfortunately, we got a couple boneheads we run against, but it's racing. It is what it is. We, ever since we got wrecked there by the 42, we've been fighting the car. We finally figured out what was wrong with it, had a good run. I can't thank my crew and my sponsors enough for all that they do. Stafford Speedway for having a great place to race, and all the fans for coming out and seeing us.
And for Adam Gray for putting on a great show, a great drive. You're on the podium, second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, we talked a little bit about your experience driving, and you haven't done that many too many long distance drives, but man, what a performance today.
I mean, yeah, I've never raced a 60 lapper, so I didn't really know what I was in for. It was long, tiring, as much as you think going into it. The car was awesome. They made some adjustments to set up for the feature. The car was great. I really got to thank my dad and my brother. They work in this car every week, got it set up for me, and I wouldn't be here without them. I got to thank everyone that helps out: John Smith, Al, Derek, Jeff, Scott for spotting. Everyone did a great job tonight. I got to thank all my sponsors: Ruby's Fines, Wines and Liquor, Marquise Landscaping, Ameriprise Financial, Botticello, and I think that's everything.
Well, the other thing is you're on the podium. You drove the wheels off that car, and you're a driver to be reckoned with as we move out through the rest of the season.
Thank you.